Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Can you hear me? Please, if you can help me to take that writing in the chat, it could be great. Yes. Okay, perfect. Yeah, apparently everything's okay. So good afternoon and welcome to our webinar, XBRL, How to Produce Your Reports and Map Your Accounts. First of all, I hope you all to be well and in good health, taking into account the current situation we are all going through. So, and now let me introduce today's speakers. I am Rosa Maria Martinez. I'm part of the marketing team at Talentia. I work on digital marketing for Spain, Portugal, and Latin America. And for the topic that concerns us today, I have the pleasure to count on the presence and also the expertise of EY with Angelo De Carlo and Domenico Passananti. Hello, Angelo, Domenico, and thank you for being here.
Hello, everyone.
Thank you. And also from our house, from Talentia, we have the presence of Roselyne Lollier.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Roselyne. So Angelo and Domenico, they are financial accounting and advisory services experts, and they're going to share their knowledge. And Roselyne, she is pre-sales of the corporate performance management area, and she is also an expert in consolidation and regulatory and legal developments in this field. So well, now you have here the agenda, today's agenda. We're going to cover all the points that you can see. And this webinar is born from the demand we have in Talentia as a proactive and as a responsible company to inform about the new XBRL format. We will give an overview and also go into detail about the regulations, the associated complexities, and the impacts we will have to manage with this new format. So just before we start, maybe just a little reminder to avoid any kind of audio or connection problems. Microphones are off. But if you have some questions, you can use the chat you will find on the right side of the screen, and you can ask us any kind of questions. No problem. We will answer them, of course, at the end of this webinar. So do not hesitate and use it. So let's get started. And the complexity we face in our daily work in the financial departments is increasing, as 85% of the CFOs they have asked confirm, and this is huge. This percentage, it's huge. And today, for companies, everything is about growth. And we have several strategies to grow, such as diversification, mergers and acquisitions, and so on. But companies cannot be focused on that because they have to manage many different challenges, and regulatory changes are one of these challenges. So we are talking about a multidimensional complexity with organizational, technical, transformation, and strategic challenges to get through. Today, as we said, we are talking about XBRL, and I'm going to let EY to talk in depth about this topic. So Angelo, it's your turn. Maybe we can just turn off our cameras to avoid connection problems, and we will see each other at the end of the webinar. Is that right for you?
Right. Thanks.
Okay, perfect.
Thanks again, Jose Maria, and thanks again to all of you. I'm really happy and honored to be here with you, and thanks again to Talentia to invite me to explain some things about this new format XBRL for listed companies. Just a brief introduction to myself. I'm a senior manager of EY. I've been experienced in EY starting from 2010. And I work within fast practice that it's mainly focused on CFO services, and also I'm also the blockchain assurance leader for MED area, so Italy, Spain, and Portugal. Moving on the first slides. Okay, thanks. So basically, we have to think about that European regulatory framework was established starting from 2019 and imposed to the listed companies on UA regulated markets to prepare their annual financial reports in the European Single Electronic Format, so the SF, starting from 1st of January 2020. In this context, the European Securities and Market, the ESMA, produced the ESF regulation. The ESF regulation, the regulatory technical standard, was issued in December 2017. And on the 29th of May, the ESF regulation has been published on the official journal of the European Union and becoming a European law. So on the right side, you can see a brief path of the trip that is started from September 2015, and now it becoming a law. So it's a good journey, but it could have some modification in the near future. Moving on the next slides, here you can see the field of application and the timeline. So issuer have to prepare their annual, so this regulation have imposed two things. One thing is related to the annual financial reports that have been prepared in the XHTML, extensible hypertext market language format. And this is the first mandatory issue. And the second is if the annual financial reports contains consolidated financial statement prepared in accordance with IFRS, must be prepared according to the XBRL format, using the new language that is the inline XBRL. The adoption of the inline XBRL, it's related. It's have two schedule, two timeline. The first timeline is starting from 1st January 2020. It will be applied only to the numbers, to the schemes. Okay, so the financial statement position, the balance sheet, the income statement, the movement of the equity, the OCI, so the other comprehensive income, and then also the cash flow statement. Starting from the 1st January 2022, the application will be also extended the disclosure of the notes of the consolidated financial statement. But why SF would love to have this kind of things is mainly related to the possibility to facilitate the accessibility, analysis, and comparability of annual financial reports for regulators and analysts. Of course, if the listed companies would love to early adopt also the disclosure requirements in advance, they can also have this opportunity. But moving on the next slides, here we have reassumed all the things, because I don't know if you have the chance to read about all the tags that SF produced in the regulatory technical standards, but you have to keep in mind that we have 5,000 of tags that we can use to tag our schemes and the notes. But trying to reassume all the things, we have 300 elements through which performing the mapping of financial statement and the schemes. and 4,500 elements through which we're performing the mapping of financial reporting, so related to the disclosure and the detailed tagging of notes. So here you have the consolidated financial statement that is mandatory since 2020 for the primary financial statement. Block tagging of notes, mandatory since 2022, and on a voluntary basis, the detailed tagging of notes. So just to have a benchmark, in Italy, no one is moving on this voluntary basis. So some listed companies in which we are working on are focused only on the first requirements. Separate financial statement is on a voluntary basis, and local capture countries is exempted from these requirements. Main focus is we expect significant impact to the IASB primary financial statement project, so the amend of IAS 1 and IAS 7 that probably could have some modification in the near future. And the current governance system, financial reporting processes, and control and data quality systems may be subject to adjustment. And finally, the taxonomy will constantly evolve in line with the changes of the IASB. So it's quite a moving trip, but we have to go through. And to move on, we can move on the next slides, because we have also summarized some potential evolution of the regulatory framework. So the responsibility towards the digital financial statement, the possible scenarios under discussion. Just to have a benchmark also, in Italy we are moving on a one document approach, but probably also in other countries the regulators, the specific regulators are moving on this. So you have to be obliged to have a one document that has to be approved from the board of directors and also for the auditors. I don't know if it's the same in the European country, but this is the way and probably could be taken. Potential definition of best practices to guide the reconciliation of financial statement information with respect to the ESF taxonomy, especially for the application of the extension. But the things about the extension I will speak in the next slides. Potential evolution, the second slides on the potential evolution is related to the type of assurance activities that the auditors have to prepare on your documents. So the auditor will ensure the assurance activity through two different ways. Also in this potential evolution, we have prepared some scenarios. One scenario is related to the changes to the audit report, introducing a specific paragraph expressing a judgment of compliance on the marking, so the tagging with respect to the table. And the second scenario is to issue a single independent audit report on the HTML and XBRL document. This second way in Italy probably could not be the good ones. Probably the scenario one should be the adopted one. Moving on the next slides. Here we have tried to make a brief specification of the tax on the SF taxonomy. So the SF taxonomy is derived from the IFRS taxonomy that is available on the IFRS Foundation. And there are some difference between the IFRS taxonomy and the SF taxonomy. So the main structure of the SS taxonomy is derived from the IFRS taxonomy, but have some difference. The classification of the financial reporting data can be done through standard tax, that is the 5,000 that I have said before, and you have also the opportunity to extend, to create an extension, so an extended tax that is a custom tax that is specific for the listed companies, and that can identify a specific financial statement element whose accounting meaning is not fully in line with any SF taxonomy standard tag. The main amendments, so the main differences between SF taxonomy and IFRS taxonomy is related to three things. The first thing is anchoring. The anchoring is used to link the extended tax, so the custom tax that is created by the issuer. The availability of a conceptual guide to facilitate the understanding and navigation of contents of the SF taxonomy, and at least the tax is prepared in all official UL language, so you have for sure your translation. Moving on the next slides, we have tried to explain when you can, where, in which kind of situation you can create an extension. So you have to start to mark information. It is necessary to use the element of taxonomy. So you have to keep in mind between all the tags and trying to fix your meaning of your scheme and trying to fit with the tags. If you didn't find the exact match, you can try to reach some similar items. If multiple items of the taxonomy can be used for a single item, the element of the taxonomy with the more restrictive scope and or accounting meaning must be selected. If the taxonomy element with an accounting meaning more similar to the financial statement information to be marked alters the accounting meaning of the information itself, the issuer can create an extension elements. But what is the criteria? So the meaning scope, the scope of the elements of the taxonomy is not duplicated. The issuer is identified, so you have your name, okay, your abbreviation. They have here their own balance attribute. The language in which they are written is the same of the annual financial report, and at least one element of the taxonomy is linked with them, so the anchor mechanism. So this is a big bang. This is an important opportunity for the listed companies, and we are supporting several companies on this because just to make a benchmark, in Italy we have some clients that have created 20 tax custom extension, 20 extension. The main extension is related to the cash flow statement and the movement of the equity. We have tried to summarize some expected complexities, but I will not boring you about this. Just one thing. It's important to formalize the judgmental approach of the choices. So we are supporting the clients in formalization of the choices. Keep it. And also keep in mind that it's not only a mandatory and regulation approach, and it's important that you have to update the financial statement crossing processes and also the responsibilities, and you have to identify a person that is in charge to be compliant with this in your company. Moving on the next slides. So, main impacts: organization, processes, and system. For sure, these are the main areas that we are seeing that we can incur some impacts. In the organization, because you have to define the roles and responsibility of the processes of preparing the financial statement in the electronic as a format. You have to update your existing processes that have to be audited, and also you have the opportunity to evolve your systems and use some new features, for example, Talentia 1, that can help you through this new regulatory framework. Moving on the next slides. So this is our approach that we have also agreed with Talentia, and we are using also with Talentia with some project. We perform an analysis of the consolidated financial statement and of the related drafting processes. After we have a second phase is that the evaluation of the impacts embedded in the adoption of the new SF formats, so the opportunity to create extension and also to use the tax standards. And the third phase is the definition of a new processes and support during the first time application that probably could occur in March 2021. Moving on on the next slide, sorry. So this is our added value of EY services. Probably you already know our firm. We are international multidisciplinary network. We have a consolidated approach because we have worked also on XBRL SEC and also the Italian one, because we have a specific XBRL for the Italian company, for the small company. And we are independent from software provider, but as the example of Talentia, we have the flexibility in terms of integration. We work a lot together, and we have a good interaction with them. Moving on the next. Here you can find some our credential, because we have performed a lot of projects on XBRL SEC and Italy. This is the main sectors, and we have started the phase 1 and also the phase 2, because we have started several projects in Italy on these, and those are the main on the below parts. These are the main sectors in which we are working. So I have finished my presentation. Thanks again to Talentia to invite us to share this information about SF, and speak to you soon. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Angelo, for explaining us a little bit more about this new regulation, this new challenge. And with Talentia, we are experts in simplifying this kind of complexities and supporting business growth. We have a wide experience and an international presence with more than 3,600 customers all around the world. And here you can see a little bit more about our presence in the map. And this is Talentia Financial Suite. It's one single platform for operations and financial performance management. It covers all the financial department's complexities, and it helps to increase productivity and facilitate collaboration in a secure way. All financial employees also share the same information in real time. So as you can see, Talentia CPM covers budgeting, planning, and forecasting, also covers consolidation and close, financial reporting, and analytics. So Talentia XBRL, it's integrated into Talentia consolidation and close, and you will be able to reduce the risk of errors, trust in your reports, improve the security and control, manage regulatory compliance, collaborate more efficiently, synchronize analysis and data, streamline your consolidation, and free up time on performance, which is very important. And here you have some examples of companies that trust Talentia, and you can see they are companies for all kinds of industries. They are starting using this new model XBRL, but I'm going to let Roselyne Lollier to show us exactly how it is. So Roselyne.
Thank you, Rosa Maria. If you can share your
Yes, I'm going to do it. Just a second.
That's it. Is it okay? Do you see my screen?
Yes, perfectly. I think that for everyone would be the same.
So I will realize a short demo on XBRL functionality that is embedded in our consolidation software. So the philosophy of the CPM consolidation is to have financial statement model designed with an Excel-based report designer. So when I enter in the report designer, I have here all the templates, the Excel templates of all my financial consolidation statement. So when I want to create some primary statement for XBRL purpose, I only have to create it directly on the with using the report designer. So, for example, I have here all my notes, but we know now, as Angelico has explained, that for the 1st of January, it will be only 5 primary statements that will be needed to publish. So, in that case, you can create only a workbook with only the primary statement you need. So here I go directly within the report designer. So I will have, first of all, it's the approach of the system. You first model your report, your financial report, and then you will map it with the taxonomy. So here I am in a workbook with, for example, I have started with my balance sheet, asset and liability, income statement, OCI, and I have to complete this workbook with change in equity and cash flow, but it's only for the demo. So the principle of the software is to link each cell to the group of account, so as to produce then your consolidated statement. So for example, if I wanted here to have a preview without any XBRL implication, but only to use this statement, financial statement, to visualize my consolidated data. So I have here the workbook, and here in this little window, I can ask for which scope and which period I want my financial data, consolidated data, are in the consolidation database with all the treatment, all the currency conversion, and so on. That is part of the consolidation functionality. So that is the model of my report, financial report. Now I want, so that is very consistent for our customer. Now I'd like to have this workbook, each sheet mapped with the XBRL taxonomy. So here in an add-on of the system, you will find here the XBRL panel to do all the taxonomy tagging. So the system here is loading, here the taxonomy. So the last taxonomy we have, but within the product, we could have version of taxonomy, because we already know that each year the authority will add some new concept within this taxonomy. So within the product, the taxonomy version will be refreshed each time as it is needed. So here I have all my taxonomy by group. We have, as Angelico say, many concepts, but the taxonomy is has a role that means group of concepts to help the financial people to map their report, their financial reports. So we will then, for example, here I have some roles, some group of item, for example, for balance sheet. So here, if I select it and I apply filter, I only have, so I have to ask for item, for the detail item. So I apply filter, and here you will have all the detail concept that are the only one you can link to your financial statement. You can link a role to a financial statement. It's only item. So that is for the taxonomy. So you have hierarchy to help you to find the right concept. And you have 5 language managed within the taxonomy. So here, because I have asked for English language, but you can ask for Spanish or Italian. So you have 5 European language display through this taxonomy. So for now, I have first to define. So maybe we'll start with the most simple statement, that is the income statement. So the first thing you have is to define where you have what you have in the column, what you have in the row, what you have in the cells. So to do this, you have to create that we ask. Okay, so I have first to initialize. Sorry. First, I have to initialize my workbook. So I say yes. So the system has, from now we only have 5 primary statements. We have to link each sheet to the right statement. So for instance, here is the income statement. So I say that it's linked to this one. Here it's my balance sheet. I have no cash flow yet, but it's not a problem. I can then modify my workbook and complete then with the next primary statement I need. I have the OCI, so that's okay, and I have not changed in equity yet. So I say okay. I have to link each sheet to my XBRL definition, in fact. So for each sheet, the system creates, well, another sheet that will be fulfilled by the information I will put in each statement. That means what is the concept, the taxonomy concept linked to these cells. That means cross a row and a column. So for example, here I have, we will tag the income statement. So the first thing I have to do is then to define which part of my statement is the column including the header of the row. So I can say that here I have all the description of my financial account. So I say, okay. Now it asks me, so you see you have an assistant that will help you to go step by step, mapping your financial reports. So here is asking me which row includes the header of the column. So I say the header of the column is this row. I can select all, that is perfect. So, okay. And now it asks me in which cell, in which range of cells do we have the data? So as I will say here, I have the data in this range. So, okay. So now the system has combined row and column. The next thing I have to define is that here in this column I have the current year, and in this one I have the previous. So that is a convention definition. So I say it's the period, and here in this column I have the period, the previous period. So previous year. That is, so sorry. So here are all the information when I will produce this XBRL statement to know that in this column it's the current year, and in this one it will be, sorry, it's That is, otherwise I will have a mistake. So that is for the main definition of my statement. Now I have to define in this line, which is the concept I have to link based on the taxonomy I have here. So I have to select the role, the group of concepts which are similar to my income statement. So let's go to the profit and loss by nature, for example. So I select this group of concept. So I apply filter, and here I have all the detail. So maybe I can search for net sale, but so I apply filter. So, you know, maybe it's because it's a wrong description in my reports. So there's no net sale in the IFRS taxonomy. So maybe it's more revenue. So you apply filter and you search the closest account you have in your taxonomy. So revenue, that's it. It's revenue in this line. So you select it, and here you have a little window. You can have some information. You can have reverse balance if you want to apply a reverse sign. And we'll see then that it's here that you can create your extension. If you don't find the right concept in the taxonomy, you can then create extension directly in the taxonomy. So that's okay for me because it's the right concept. So I apply, and then you see you have a little red information here in the cell to say that this row has been tagged with the taxonomy. Then here you go on and you search for other, let's say other income. So you see the taxonomy and the description are very close to the IFRS description, but sometimes depending how you have built your statement and in which activity the group is, maybe you have to create some extension. So from now it's okay. So I can say it's this concept. So you go on and you apply all your line to the right taxonomy. If you want to change, then you have here another icon to get back to the line. And if you want to change, so you can then filter to the number and reapply to change the information. So let's go to discount granted. You'll see why. So I ask for discount granted. I apply filter. There's no discount at all in the taxonomy, in the IFRS taxonomy. So here I have to create an extension. Okay. So which is the most closest concept of the taxonomy for my discount granted? Well, let's say it's revenue, because discount granted discount is revenue. So I will choose this one. So maybe I need some help from EY to be sure that it's the right extension I have to create. But it's to illustrate that when you create an extension, it's always linked to the closest meaning concept you have in the taxonomy. So I say here, it's an extension. Okay, so here the system directly take the description of my line and will create an extension to the revenue concept. So I apply, and now I have. So now I have this line that is linked to my extension concept. So if I want to go back, I can here edit, and I see that he has created a revenue wider extension that is discount granted. So you go on with this mapping. So you have here all the filter. You can combine filter. For example, if you need income plus activity, so you can, or contract, so you can combine. So it's very helpful to have all this information. So you can apply filter to have all the information, but you can combine 3 keywords. So that's very helpful. So if in your balance sheet you have some detailed information in intangible asset or so on, you have also rows by notes that are more detailed for some financial information. So sometimes even in the primary statement, you can have the ability to link to a concept you will find in a group of notes. So you have here the main. Group for all the first 5 primary statements you need to publish in XBRL. So each time I create this information, that is the way the software works. It create in this for each sheet, it create the information that will be used here. So for each concept to a row cross a column, it creates this information. And when we will execute this workbook, the system will create the new taxonomy, the XBRL statement, and also a viewer, all the package that you will be able to publish directly in for the SMA authority. So that's the way the system works. So you need also to display some information. Here you have you must, so sorry, it's in French from now, but you need also to have an identified key. You have to ask for it, because when you will publish your statement, you will need this identified key. So that is information linked to the group. So we have created in the system a new table to enter the information. So now when I try to see if I have some I have a preview of what I have done. So I can do a preview to have then some data in the system, and also to have the group information fulfilled automatically. So when I execute my statement, so it's a preview, but it's the same way within the product. When you execute, you produce your financial statement for a consolidation period. You ask here for which scope on which period you want to have your financial statement, and the system will automatically publish the information, the data. And also you will have here in the information here, sorry, all the characteristic, the attributes of the group you need to publish your statement. So that is how the system is very consistent to do the tagging, because since all the statements are Excel based, it's very easy then to start from Excel workbook to define the financial statement, and then to link it to a taxonomy. So in the same panel, in the report designer, you design your reports, and then you map it with the taxonomy. So that is the thing I wanted to demo. It's okay for me.
So perfect. Thank you so much, Roslina, and also thank you to you, Angelo. Just 1 second.
Do you have some questions?
Yeah, that's the thing. Maybe we can just yeah, turn on our cameras and see if someone has a question. In that case, we will answer. But for now, apparently not. So, well, during this time, if someone has a question, I'm going to show you just if you want to know more how you can contact us. You can do it by email at info at talentia-software.com. You can just go to our website, talentia-software.com, and contact us. Or you can also, if you want to know more, we have our social media, and we are in LinkedIn and Twitter, and there we publish new information every single day. So with this kind of topics as XBRL, consolidation, and other financial processes and digitalization. So for now, apparently there's no questions. So if you have a question later, you can ask the question with this different ways, okay? And thank you so much, Angelo and Roslina. Thank you. And yeah, I think we will finish. So thank you to all of you to be here, and I hope the webinar was clear and useful for you, and see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.